The VGRT Gaming Podcast, episode 678, recorded on March 7th, 2023.
Welcome to the 678th edition of the TV Gaming Podcast and 511th episode of Video Game Roundtable. I am TJ Denzer.
I am Scott Dirk.
And I am Jonah Falcon.
The VGRT Gaming Podcast focuses on game news from around the industry.
So, I will start first because mine is simplest. I've been playing Embargoed, so I can't really talk about it right now. I actually re-downloaded a game from 2013 called Cities in Motion. Because I have an account with Gamersgate, which is still around. It's still, you can still buy stuff from it, right? But I had a press account until 2013. So I'm looking through these games, and I said, you know what? A certain game that was revealed yesterday inspired me to play Cities in Motion, because I always like a good public transit simulator, And I'm hoping that's what they have with the upcoming game we're going to be discussing. Have either of you heard of Cities in Motion?
No.
Okay. Check it.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't know if I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it's sort of, there's games like it, like Transport Tycoon and that sort of stuff. Look up Cities in Motion. There was a sequel. It's supposed to be not as good. I haven't played it, so I really can't argue towards that. But I did have some fun with the first game. So
that's kind of neat.
So TJ, what have you been?
It's by Colossal Order, which is the same people who do Cities.
And they Paradox Interactive is the publisher. Yes. So TJ, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Octopath Traveler 2.
Okay. Scott, you finished that, right?
I have not finished it. That's a long game. It's going to take me a while.
I know. I was joking.
Okay.
So, I like the characters in this one more than I like the first one's characters. They feel like the first one felt like it was setting a stage and establishing the formula. The second one feels like they're having a little bit more fun with it and writing interesting stories around it. And you still kind of have archetypes of character classes and all that, but the characters themselves feel like more than their archetypes. Particularly, I'm playing Oswald, and I really like that character. He's a scholar, which are like magicians in that world, who he was trying to discover the quote one true magic that is basically magic without use of energy, and then his partner screwed him over and killed his wife and kid and set his house on fire, and he got blamed for it and sent to a prison.
Okay, that's dark.
Yeah, it's intensely dark.
There's quite a few dark stories going on in this game, and I'm in the middle of the chapter 2s, and even some of the characters that started off not feeling dark are suddenly starting to get dark. So it's very interesting seeing what.
It's got a good charm and sense of humor about it though too. Did you play? Have you played Chet's story at all?
Yeah, I played Chet's story. She's interesting. She hunts down monsters, and she's a little bit like damn it, man, I'm blanking on it. The Studio Ghibli, Princess Mononoke. There we go. Princess Mononoke. She hunts down stuff and just eats their heart out, and basically that's what Ochette does in the very beginning of her chapter. She's hunting down this giant lizard, and she starts nibbling on it, I guess.
Is this what we're going to be expecting from Aiden Chronicles 100 Heroes?
I don't know. It's totally different.
Ochette is interesting though, because her fighting ability, she can capture monster type enemies and create a stable of monsters that use different attacks. So where everybody else is playing a typical almost JRPG, almost Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest type game, she's playing Pokemon. And, and she can like not only can she capture monsters to use in combat, but like Scott said, she can also consume them and turn them into resources that she can then like barter, like use to get good weapons and items.
I also like the cleric. I don't know if you've played him yet, TJ, but basically he's an inquisitor, and he will try to get people information from people by, I guess, breaking their shield. So he gets aggressive on interrogating them and getting information from them.
Yes.
And, yeah. So
Temenos is really cool. He's like the meanest cleric I've ever seen in a game.
Yeah. But he like plays it off like he's all joking around and lighthearted, but like he'll fuck you up basically.
Yeah. So pretty good game so far. Like I like what they've done with the stories beyond the first game. I feel like they're really like stretching their narratives and doing a good job with them so far.
And since you mentioned Ayuden Chronicle, Jonah, Hikari's story plays like the beginning of a Suikoden game. Okay. You know, you're this disposed prince, and you're trying to go gather your heroes. And the very first person you go recruit is a freaking strategist. So it's very Suikoden.
Yeah, it's a blast so far.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's got like a stellar soundtrack.
Oh yeah, of course.
When I got to the first boss with Oswald, like that game went from like I'm having a pretty good time to I'm gonna play this all the way to the end, and I'm gonna download this track and I'm gonna listen to it over and over and over again until I hate it.
It's awesome. So that's what game I've been playing as well. So just saved ourselves some time.
Okay. So talking about the game that's been embargoed, I will say this though, it is an indie game, very indie game, and let me see. Go to the story page for a moment. I want to see the developer. Oh yeah, so the developer is the Knights of Unity. We're also co-publishing it with Surefire Games, and it struck me out of nowhere, but it hit all the right buttons so far. It's coming out on March 28th, so that's when it's supposed to come. But there's a lot of good stuff coming on Game Pass. Hey, you know that Civilization 6 has just been announced for Game Pass. Mm-hmm. Now I can play some Civ and get achievements for it.
Awesome.
Yeah. But the thing there is it's only going to be the base game, and if you want to play the good stuff, you're going to have to pay for the expansions. So, yeah. Not much quick news. One quick news is that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet bug are causing a save fail wipe, and it's connected to the DLC in the Pokemon Go link. So Scarlet and Violet is still being a trash fire. I don't care what TJ says.
I didn't say it wasn't a trash fire. I was just saying that I had fun with it.
Well, imagine how fun it is finding that you have your save file wiped.
Oh, I would not go back. Like, if you told me that my save file was gone, I would not put in the effort to get back to where I was. That would be unacceptable.
Hey, the
Pokemon games are so long. Like, can you imagine? I don't like the idea of grinding anything for that long. And then suddenly I open up my game one day and my save file is gone.
The Pokemon Company and Nintendo, stop being lazy, make a new Pokemon game from scratch, stop using assets, stop using that creaky engine that we know you're just slamming different files on. Time to start over. Jeez.
Well, and they've been putting out games back to back to back to back to back for maybe 2 or 3 years now. They went from Pokemon Let's Go. Okay, they went from Pokemon Sword and Shield immediately to Pokemon Let's Go, immediately to Pokemon Legends Arceus, immediately to Pokemon Scarlet Violet.
Yeah, and here's the thing. They don't really care about the games. The games are there to provide content for the merch.
Right.
That's all they're there for, folks. And yeah, I know they're damaging the brand, but the games themselves represent such a small amount of money for them.
My bigger concern is that they're moving to like a state like sports games, like EA sports games, where like this constant crunch.
You're waiting for the first Pokemon live service game, huh?
Well, I mean, this constant crunch to put out something frequently, like on such a tight schedule, it feels to me like it's hurting the product. Like
I want Dragon Hunter Ranchers again. Damn it!
people can't be like the Switch can't handle this what they're trying to do, because Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is right there, and that game is stellar.
You remember Dragon Quest Ranchers?
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is like a beautiful game with excellent combat that has like 150 hours in it. And you're telling me that Pokemon Company can't make a Pokemon that even just plays normal, that won't erase my save file if an update comes out? Yeah. Sounds a little silly.
I got it wrong. It's Dragon Warrior Monsters. For those who don't know, that was published by Enix before they merged with Square. And it was a Pokemon game, which I felt was superior to Pokemon. Because I had gotten really bored with Pokemon, and Dragon Warrior Monsters was like a breath of fresh air in that genre. Have you ever played it?
I've never played that one. I've heard of Dragon Quest Monsters, but I've never...
Dragon Warrior Monsters. Well, it's Dragon Quest Monsters. Yeah. Huh. It's called Dragon Quest Monsters in Japan. It's Dragon Warrior Monsters here. But I don't know if you... Have you ever heard of the Trust Thermocline?
I have not.
Okay, so strap in, folks. I'm going to describe this very briefly. It's a concept that was done by a tech person, and I think it's going to happen with NBA 2K as well. So, you know what a thermocline is, right? When you're on the beach, right? And you're going down the beach, and you're going down the beach, and they're going down the beach, and it's getting a little bit deeper, and then all of a sudden there's this deep drop off immediately, right? And it's like really cold, and it's like, holy cow, where'd this come from? Like, it's like the stuff just goes down. Well, that's the Trust Thermocline. And Disney's suffering from it right now, the Disney parks. And what happens is that what people don't seem to understand is that when you build up resentment, even though you're making money, that resentment is building. And when something happens, when people have an alternative, they'll switch to the alternative. And the resentment will be so deep that no matter what you do, you don't get them back. That's the Trust Thermocline. You don't know when you're in trouble until it's too late.
Are you talking about that whole thing with DeSantis taking away the district right for self-governance?
No. I'm talking about do you know what's going on with Disney parks right now?
That's what I was just talking about.
No, not that. They're doing a lot of anti-consumer shit and all this pricing bullshit. And right now, Paramount is building a huge park, right? Oh no, Universal. I'm sorry, it's Universal, not Paramount. Universal is building this mega park, and people are concerned that people will go to Universal's park and not go back to Disney. No matter how much Disney after that, tries to win back favor with less anti-consumer stuff. It's called the Trust Thermocline. Just look it up. There's a video about Disney about that.
Is this a different Universal park than the one they already had, Universal Studios?
Yeah, it's a new one. It's a new one that's still being built.
Okay.
It's gonna be a big rival in Florida.
Well, I know I want to go to Mario World whenever that comes over here.
Okay. But my point is that if they ever brought back Dragon Warrior Monsters, I would be on that like white on rice. Because
a few different games of that ilk, but
no, this one was really well made, and you get to breed different types of monsters together to get new monsters and that sort of stuff. It was really fun, and I really had a good time with it.
There's an entire fandom of people that will also claim that Monster Rancher games are also really good.
Holy shit! According to the Wikipedia article, Dragon Warrior Monsters was just released like 2 years ago on iOS and Android.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
I'm gonna have to check that shit out. It was the 3DS version. The one I played was the Game Boy Advance version.
Nice.
Yeah, the Game Boy Advance version, but it was back when you could just pop in a Game Boy Color game and you could play it on your GBA. Remember that backwards compatibility? And then when you had the DS, you could just pop in your GBA games.
Yep. It was good times.
Yeah. But backwards compatibility is poo-pooed by Nintendo because they want you to pay for the same game over and over and over and over again. How many times are you going to buy the original Legend of Zelda? 5, 6, 7, 8 times?
All of them. All of the times.
I agree with TJ all the times. It's Zelda. Come on. I'm going to be buying Tears of Kingdom day one. I'm not gonna wait. I'm getting that.
There will be a day where I'm just sitting on my couch at night, like, man, I feel like playing a Nintendo game, and then I'll go on the shop, and it'll be like, oh, there's Zelda right there, because I have the Nintendo Switch Online thing.
You're such a sheep. You are such a sheep. I still have the gold cart, by the way, the gold NES cart somewhere here.
That's still even like slightly better than it used to be, Jonah, because it used to be I had to go onto my DS and then go into the eShop and be like, oh, it's $3 there. Now I don't even have to spend $3 because it's already on my account.
Oh, well, that's different. If you're not paying for it, that's fine. Anyways, the big game news is Paradox Interactive had their show. And I didn't even know they were going to have their show until they told me a couple of days, like 2 days before.
And what a show it was.
Yeah, unlike the Sony show, this one was actually entertaining. We're going to skip City Skylines 2 for now, although that was the big announcement, and everybody's excited over it.
Yes.
Let's talk about some of the other games they mentioned. The Lamplighters League, which is basically a tactical strategy game like XCOM. Looks really good.
Yeah, like, wait, what did you think it looked like?
Well, the gameplay, I mean. It was very much like an XCOM game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It takes place. It's basically a bunch of Indiana Joneses, each with their own special unique powers. And you do these, and they do these, and basically the combat is basically XCOM. It's chock full of sense of humor. It's a real-time, turn-based mix.
I'm just pulling up some of these games because some of them I didn't get to see.
Yeah. And it's going to be on Game Pass.
Oh, this looks delightful. Look at the environments they have.
Yes. Yes. I told you, it's Indiana Jones. It's an Indiana Jones game with a couple of Indiana Joneses, except they're all different.
That's pretty rad. I'm into it. And it's Harebrained Schemes.
Yes.
Which they've made BattleTech and they've made a few other things. They made the new Shadowrun games, which I'm not crazy about, but I love BattleTech.
I actually backed the Shadowrun Returns way back in the day. That was a long time ago. And one of the things about Shadowrun Returns, which I never got around to doing, but you could create your own maps and modules and everything else, your own adventures, full adventures. That's why I got it, and I never got around to doing it.
I was really hoping for a exploratory world like you had on the SNES version of Shadowrun, but it was more just scenario based.
Oh yeah, it was scenario based. It's fine. It's a regular old role playing game. They came out with several sequels, but this Lamplighters League is full of charm. If you ever, if you get those of you who haven't seen it yet, go watch the trailer. It's fun.
Nice. Yeah, I love the look of this. The aesthetic they got going for it is really fun too.
Next you have Surviving the Aftermath, which is an post-apocalyptic city builder, I think.
Yes.
Or actually terraformer too.
The bombs have dropped, and it's your job to take care of things and rebuild.
Yep. There's this is Rebirth, which is a expansion, I believe. And it gives you some new stuff like a basic terraformer, an environmental station, and all that stuff. It looks pretty. I'm always after a good city builder. Also comes from the guys who made Surviving Mars, which I love that game.
I have it. I haven't played it yet though. Hamamon is pretty good.
Yeah. And then a little personal favorite of mine, they announced Knights of Pen and Paper 3. And it's actually coming out in 2 days. It actually came out today, actually.
I've never played a Knights of Pen and Paper game, but I hear that everybody loves these games.
Okay, so here's the... have you played one of these games, Scott?
No.
Okay. So the conceit is that you're actually doing a pen and paper RPG, and the GM is there, and you're leveling up your character, who's leveling up their character. There's all sorts of meta in this. They also have Galaxy of pen. They have the science fiction version of this too. But yeah, basically, you're not leveling up your PC, you're leveling up yourself. And each player has an archetype, like one is a role player, the other one is like a munchkin. You know, I'm just different types of players. So they add bonuses to their characters that they're running.
So the idea is that you're not just playing with the characters in the game, but you're playing with the players of the characters outside the game?
Yeah, you're leveling up the role players who are leveling up
Okay.
their characters.
Nice.
And you have a GM talking about what's going on, and it's very non-serious because basically the GM is just a friendly GM, and he's saying this is you have to go to here, and this, so it's fun. We already talked about Age of Wonders 4. Like I said, it's Heroes of Might and Magic meets Master of Magic.
I see that we're getting more Stellaris.
Yeah, Stellaris First Contact. Basically, it's before you launch. This is basically you get to play the story of how you got into space.
That is cool. I like that. They do some pretty good stuff with their major expansions on Stellaris. I really liked the Behemoths expansion.
Yeah. Basically, they're telling you, they're giving players a chance to tell the stories about how their civilization got to go into the stars.
Oh man, I wonder what it's like. If you can play every race in this one, I wonder what it's going to be like to play the bug race that ravenously tries to eat everything and how they got on the spaceships.
Well, one of them turned to the other side. Listen, I'm hungry, but all the food here is boring. Let's go out there and see what we can feast on there. They
were just sitting on the couch and like, you want to eat out tonight? That's fun. I love it. Like I've been playing Stellaris since the very beginning, and I really enjoy the expansions they do for the game.
Speaking of harebrained schemes, this game is not by them, but they've announced a new mech game called Mechabellum, which is an RTS mech. So you create your own mechs. It's basically an RTS, but with mechs.
Ah, nice. Very big StarCraft, like either StarCraft or Red Alert Generals.
Yeah. Developers Game River.
I'm sorry, Command and Conquer Generals.
The developers game is Game River. They have never released. This is their debut game. They have another game that they're working on, which hasn't been released, called Out of Hands, and that's basically a weird card game that's really weird. It's the strangest card game you'll ever play.
It's always interesting to see if these games can sink or swim in some capacity because,
well, remember,
yes, it's not as lively as it used to be.
Let's remind everybody, this is Paradox who's curating these games, so I think you can have some confidence that they're not going to put out a stinker.
Right.
And Mechabellum is coming out in May. The Xbox version of Victoria 3 has been delayed. They're going to be releasing it soon. In the meantime, they're releasing free content next week. I still have not played Victoria 3. It is a grand strategy game, except it's more making decisions on how you change society, more than just conquering this and conquering that. Speaking of which, Europa Universalis is getting a new expansion called Domination. And when did Europa Universalis 4 come out? It must have been like... This game's been out like 10 years, 15 years, and they're still putting out content for it.
Yeah, it came out in 2013.
Okay, so 10 years. Crusader Kings 3 is getting another expansion, Tours and Tournaments. It's basically exactly what it sounds like.
It also looks like they're doing an update to the travel system because you used to not be able to move your ruler unless you were in a war with another nation.
See, here's the thing. Crusaders 3, Kings 3 could be dumbed down just a little bit, you know?
It is ridiculously complex.
It could be for it to be dumbed down just a little bit.
I like it, though. Like, the stuff that they've added to it over time has been pretty fun. I like the idea of being able to finally move my ruler when I feel like it.
Look at all the DLC they released for Crusader Kings 2. In order to get all the expansions...
It's like $200,
you'd have to spend $300. It's like insane amount.
It's not as bad as Sims, where like Sims 4.
No, it's worse. It's worse.
It's like 700, 800. It's
worse.
Crazy.
Across the Obelisk Wolf Wars DLC, I haven't really paid attention to that game. It's a furry game, I think. Just wolves and furries.
There are indeed wolves, and also like there's like night wolves, but there's also like regular dog wolves. So like, how's that work? That's always a weird thing in things like these, where you have standing, sentient, talking wolf people, but also dog pet wolf.
There's Animal Crossing where you have owls that you talk to, but then you'll see owl on the bulletin board. Then you'll what was it? There's a hamster in a cage that you can give to hamster villagers. So it's just some crazy stuff sometimes when you really think about it.
Check. Because I'm pretty sure you can buy Knights of Pen and Paper for like $3 these days. Oh no. Oh yeah. So you know how much Knights of Pen and Paper 3 costs right now? $12.
That's pretty good.
You can buy Knights of Pen and Paper 2 for $8. So yeah, I mean these are very simple RPGs, but they're full of charm. So I might check it out later. Get Knights of Pen and Paper 3, in the short future, because they're fun to do. They're very meta. So let's talk about the big game that was announced that made everybody's heart at Twitter, and that is Cities Skylines 2.
Hooray!
Okay, tell us your love for Cities Skylines, TJ.
I've been playing City Skylines since the very first vanilla version came
2015,
out. Yeah. I love the game. It filled that gap where SimCity broke my heart.
It broke everyone's heart, TJ.
Yeah, that's true.
There was also another game, if I remember, Cities XL.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was
Cities Skylines, between like the expansions and the mod support, but even the vanilla game was pretty dang good. It's the whole kit and caboodle, like being able to build your roads and then district your cities and then put up the power and water and sewage and then watch them pop to life and then watch things go terribly wrong if you did something wrong. It's hilarious fun. I love that game.
One of the things, I hate to disappoint people, but Cities Skylines 2 will not be in Unreal 5. It's going to remain in Unity. It still looks gorgeous. I mean, they said it wasn't gameplay, but I can tell that that what they were showing is basically the accurate target of what the game's going to look like.
Yeah, and they're talking some big game here, being able to develop. You can unlock 150 map tiles to use.
Okay, first let's go to the news item. Cities Skylines 2 achievements reveal hailstorms, rat infestations, and 150 map tiles in a single city, and this comes to us from PC Gamer. One of the biggest shortcomings in 2015 City Builder City Skylines was the map tiles players were allowed to build on. The buildable space on a map was a grid of 5x5 tiles, 25 in total, and of those available tiles, the players could only unlock 9 to build their cities on. Modders were quick to remove that restriction, allowing all the tiles on the map, which was 9x9, to be built on, for a total of 81 tiles. City Skylines 2 was announced today, as we just talked, and it looks like modders can sand down. The maps in City Skylines will allow you to unlock a whopping 150 map tiles, quite a leap over the original game. This information comes from the Xbox achievement list for Cities Skylines 2, which was also released today, perhaps accidentally. Several sites like Xbox Achievements and True Achievements are displaying the full list of 40 achievements, which combine to award 1,000 players points towards your gamer score. One of those achievements, Everything the Light Touches, awards 50 points for unlocking the 150 map tiles. There's also Things Are Not Looking Up, experience a rat infestation. The size of golf balls means you experienced a hailstorm. And You Little Stalker, follow a citizen's life path from childhood to old age.
That's fun. I always liked that about cities, is that you can you have this bird's eye view like any city builder.
Yeah.
But you can also just get down, get intimate, get real close to any given citizen walking around your city and just follow them around.
I remember when they were saying that they were going to do that in SimCity 4 or something.
They did that in SimCity 4. It was the reboot SimCity that did not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if I would ever build a 150 tile city, because that's like a lot of work.
Well, we don't know how big the tiles are, so.
But I also I completely lost my thought. But
yeah, I'm betting you experience a rat infestation if you don't move the garbage out soon enough. Like if the garbage starts piling up, you get the rats.
I remember what I was going to say. This seems like the kind of game that if you were to achieve building 150 tiles, you better have a good machine to render that much city.
Who says it has to show all of them at once?
Sure, but I don't know. Like when you're up in the sky in the bird's eye view, looking at 150 tiles worth of city, and that game looks gorgeous. Like I wonder how much this game is gonna chug.
So, let's talk about wish lists. Mine is because, like I mentioned earlier, I downloaded Cities in Motion. I'm hoping that they have a full public transportation module that really gets into the nitty gritty. Like you have to place the bus stop here, place the bus stop here. Like you did in SimCity 4, by the way. That's what you did in SimCity 4. You placed the bus stop here, and you had to figure out a way to lessen traffic by having your public transportation. Then you have your subway and all that stuff. They had that in SimCity 4. I'd like to see it in City Skylines 2.
I would like...
By the way, the fact that they showed airplanes landing and other buses and things makes me think, yeah, they're doing that. I would like...
One of the things I missed from SimCity that has never really been represented in City Skylines, there's never been like big disaster. And maybe am I wrong?
No, I mean you had to get a DLC for City Skylines to get the big disasters, if I remember correctly.
I would like that in the vanilla game on day one. Like we're talking like
have a meteor strike the city. Yeah.
I would like a Godzilla to crawl out of the
Godzilla attacks, or whatever monster it is for that SimCity, or a UFO attacks.
Like I miss disasters in the SimCity games. I would like that to come to City Skyline 2 in some day.
I'm glad you enjoy the disasters. I don't. Giant Godzilla comes to town, or whatever monster it is for that game.
Also give players the option to toggle that stuff off if you don't want it, or just like make it happen on command, like you could in SimCity 2000.
Here, the other thing is that, SimCity soured the taste of this for other people, but it would be nice to maybe have somewhat of a multiplayer mode where you weren't depending on someone else, but you could have sort of like a connection, like your people are going to work in that other person's city, that sort of thing.
That would be neat.
I mean, or just have it like, not you and a friend and that's it, just no one else. Or like, or how about this? Each of you take your own districts in the same city and you build it the way you want.
I think it would be fun to do it where like you could be a co-op. You could play it co-op, but you could also play it a little bit competitive where one person handles one tile and another person handles another tile. And you build like competing cities and see who can get the most citizens fast.
Or maybe the same city and just seeing who has the better part of the city.
Yeah. There's a lot of options they could go with here. I was really just like floored to see that City Skyline 2 was happening because I really just thought that they would keep adding on to City Skylines forever.
Yeah. There's also apparently going to be weather, if hailstorm is any thing about it. Of course, tornadoes are one of the disasters that could hit your city in SimCity.
Oh yeah, they were putting a big emphasis on weather. On like, it was CG obviously, but like, did you see how much they stopped on like weather effects, like raindrops or snowflakes in that game or in that trailer?
Well, here's the thing. I think what's going to happen is that like in really cold weather, it's gonna have a drain on your power because everybody's turning on the heater or whatever, or just too hot. That sort of thing, and if you have to worry about flooding and stuff like that.
Yeah, especially if you dig irrigation ditches that lead the water directly through your city. They should have terraforming, like good terraforming. That's what I want.
Well, speaking of terraforming, go ahead, Scott. Take the next one.
Okay. Evidence is mounting for an upcoming Minecraft Bedrock world editor mode. This is from PC Gamer. First reported by Eurogamer, a Minecraft focus account by the name of Roger Badgerman shared a 45-second clip of a purported Minecraft world editor, a functionality that would allow for rapid, large-scale changes in Minecraft world or construction of a massive structures on the fly. The innovation here would be implementing such a feature in Minecraft Bedrock, the retail multi-platform version of Minecraft that took it. Just in case you didn't know, Java already has builders, lots of builders. Minecraft multi-platform multi-platform version of Minecraft that took it to such a superstar heist of the tablets of nephews and little cousins the world over. As Eurogamer alludes to, such functionality has been hinted at in data mining for a while now, like in this post from Minecraft add-on developer Smoky Stack. The classic hardcore Java edition of Minecraft has mods that allow for large-scale editing for a long time, and these are sorts of tools figure in many of the community's impressive viral builds as well as premium purchases in Bedrock editions in Game Store. Java also has many adventure maps, any kind of map that you want to play. There's all sorts of...
And Microsoft, good on them for allowing people who have the Bedrock edition to buy them.
Yeah. Badgerman's clip shows off some intuitive brush-like tools for crafting blocks in the Minecraft world, and he also demonstrates the copy and pasting of everything from individual blocks up to massive structures. The functionality captured by Badgerman is impressive, but we've yet to hear official word from Microsoft on when such a feature may be planned to come to Bedrock.
So yeah, I wonder if this is the beginning of the slow merger of Bedrock and Java.
I don't think you can merge those two because they're on different languages.
No, I mean, you can merge it. You can just say, okay, Java's over. Just go to bed. It has everything you want. You still have to have a Microsoft account to play on the Java version anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, yeah, this is good for Bedrock, obviously. Bedrock players would like to make their own maps and make their own adventure maps.
And sell to Java players.
Well, I mean, I'm not buying them, but I guess there's others that might be.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Java players can get maps for free and skins for free and all this other stuff for free because it's all just made by the community.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I mean, I'm looking forward to Minecraft Legends. That's coming soon. In relation to...
Yeah, I downloaded it already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can preload right now. One other item that's minor, but I'm pretty sure TJ would like to talk about it, is that Metal Hellsinger is getting a DLC, Dream of the Beast. It's coming out with 2 new songs and a new weapon.
They're getting stuff from, if I remember correctly, Laguna Coil, which I'm familiar with them. They are a very good band. They're a very good heavy metal band.
Two of them, Laguna Coil and Two Feathers.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Two Feathers as much as I am Laguna Coil.
And Lorna Shaw. And Lorna Shore is the other person who's doing vocals.
Nice. But more music for Metal Hellsinger is a delight. One of the best things they did about that game was that they actually went out of their way to get original music from all the bands and made sure that it would be like copyright protected against people trying to do takedowns on it. And so that was a neat trick they pulled off for that in a world where it's very, 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 very difficult to live stream video games with licensed music.
Yeah. And the best part is that it's going to be free. It's a free update. Coming out on March 29th.
Well played. The game is a gift that keeps on giving.
And it's on Game Pass too.
Yep.
Oh, excuse me. Another item I'm going to talk about, which is disturbing and funny at the same time. Twitch is addressing the live streaming of explicit deepfake content. Have you heard of this? Apparently, people have been taking deepfakes of female streamers and having them do naughty things on Twitch.
Ooh. Grody.
Very not cool.
So Twitch is, updating the adult sexual violence and exploitation policy and the adult nudity policy. Then they're working with some safety experts on the Cyber Civil Rights Initiative. And finally,
Deepfake is some very scary shit because, like, have you seen some of the stuff they can do with that stuff?
Also, but let me complete here. And a creator camp will be held on the 14th of March with an NCEI expert and a manager at the Revenge Porn Helpline. The fact that there's a Revenge Porn Helpline is bad enough.
Yeah, this is extremely gross.
You think?
And it's a scary reminder of just how bizarrely deepfake stuff can be used to really hurt people. Like, because they're using real people for this. They're using the likenesses of real people for this, which makes it even more messed up.
Yeah. For those who don't know, deepfake is a computer, recreation of a person. There was a Russian commercial that had Bruce Willis in it. And Bruce Willis consented to it. I'm just saying, but he never had to go to Russia to do it. They just did a deepfake of him for the commercial. Mm-hmm. They do that on several commercials actually, and not just there. I mean here as well. I forgot which one it was, but they had one or two of them. It's just disturbing, especially as an actor, because that means you can. Someone say, "Well, I want this type, but we can just create this type."
I mean, we've seen some of the effects of it where they had like a young Luke in The Mandalorian. They also had a young Leia.
No, that's digital. That's not a deepfake. That's digital.
It's not deepfake, but it's the same premise. You're using someone else's face on somebody else's body, and then
no, a deepfake would be more like Princess Leia in which one was it? Which Star Wars film was it? Which had a young Leia and a really fake-looking, Grand Moff Tarkin. Which one was it? It was Rogue One. And they had a really bad fake Leia and a really bad fake Grand Moff Tarkin.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what I was talking about, yeah. But, I mean, they've done it in other ways, too. Like, they had a young Samuel L. Jackson in one of the Marvel movies. And I think
yeah, but that's him. They just take the that's digital editing. I mean, whenever Tom Cruise has his shirt off right now, those are fake pecs.
I'm sure.
Then you have Michael Douglas being de-aged in certain scenes of Ant-Man movies. That sort of thing. Oh, they de-aged Jeff Bridges for the Tron sequel.
I'm just saying, I think that's at least a positive use of the technology.
Yeah, but using it for revenge porn, that's just...
Oh, yeah, it's terrible. I know.
Hell, I saw there was a thing the other day that a bunch of right-wing grifters, a bunch of right-wing grifters were using it for something fucking terrible.
I can imagine.
I won't even go into details because I don't want to give clout to anything like that.
Oh, isn't it nice that Gamergate is gone? It's like
yes.
It was like something a long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah, now we have even bigger things to worry about, I guess.
Yeah, but at least it's not people on Twitter just spamming your messages of why you don't like something. It's like, oh, God. Just go away, please. Thank you. Complain about being canceled.
We're less than 20 days from the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Are you counting down the days till Resident Evil 4 there?
Jonah, it's going to be the best game of the year.
I'm counting the days to Trials from Azure. That's what I'm counting days to.
Okay.
I also heard that one's pretty dang good. Didn't reviews drop for that recently? Am I
Yeah, they have some reviews for it, yes.
That's the one I was seeing recently. A lot of people loved that game.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, yeah, go ahead.
It's a sequel to Trials from Zero, and it predates the Cold Steel series.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's coming out soon, and now you'll officially have the whole line of the first 9 games available to the West for the first time.
You know what's landing on Xbox Game Pass tonight?
What's that?
Guilty Gear Strive.
Nice. Yes. They have been working on a crossplay update for the game for quite some time, and I think they finally rolled it out in full to go along with the Xbox launch, which means that players on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox can now compete against each other.
And go ahead.
I was just saying that's awesome. I like the cross-play features. I'm glad companies are working to do that.
Yeah, and Ni no Kuni 2 is coming out later this month on Game Pass, too.
Nice. That's a great game.
Yeah. Valheim is coming out next week. But it's just a preview. I thought Valheim was already released, or is it just released on PC?
Just released on PC.
Okay. Because the console game preview version is coming on Game Pass next week.
Excellent.
Do you play that anymore, Scott?
Yeah, I play it on occasion.
Okay. Anyways. Look for our show notes at gamingpodcast.net, along with industry news and our gaming history articles. We enjoy feedback, so leave comments at our blog at gamingpodcast.net. Also, hit us up at facebook.com/gamingpodcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Leave some iTunes comments. You can find me on Twitter at Jonah Falcon.
You can find me at Johnny Chugs.
You can find me at Shard More.
By the way, you were posting some interesting stuff there on Twitter, TJ.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just some long, rambling stuff. I forgot what it was, but at least I know what you're up to.
Yeah, I do a lot of non sequiturs in between sharing my work, so.
Yeah. Anyways, we will see you next week.
Happy gaming, everyone.
Have fun, be cool, play games, y'all.